Hi, I am back at last with a new Blue Review show. Uh, I received a package today from a dear friend, and I had no idea what it was. It was really tall, and I couldn't imagine it being a Blu-ray or like was a tall art book, maybe a coffee table book. I was pretty stumped. I knew he was going to send me something. Um, So anyway, I opened it, peeked in, but I'd like to do an official unboxing, unwrapping here for this video. So listening to some appropriate music in the background. Don't know if you can tell what it is, but might kill some of the suspense. So okay, it's covered with this thing here, and it's inside of this. I just tore that open a minute ago. And here's of course the Amazon box. So get ready, this is exciting. How many of you can see this? God, it won't even fit on the, and it's reflecting the screen back at me. It's so shiny. Okay, so this is the Godzilla complete Showa era 1954 to 1975 Blu-ray box set from Criterion collection. So yeah, a little backup there. So look how big this thing is. That's befitting Godzilla for sure. Truly a giant monster of an item, and allegedly, well, I guess we'll find out in a second, won't we? Yep, Criterion especially planned it out to where, their spines have the numbers of all the entries in their collection, as they call it, in their library of things they published on DVD and Blu-ray. So they planned this out so this would be number 1,000. Criterion Collection number 1,000. So let's look at the back a little bit here. You probably can't make much out, but maybe you can. It's so damn big. History shows again and again how nature points out the folly of man. Yes, I'm listening to Blue Oyster Cult Godzilla to get and stay in the mood here. So I'm going to read you some of this back part, and then we're going to slice it open and see what the heck this is, how it is constructed, where the items are. So let me know if you're ready. No, I know you can't. Too bad. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Godzilla, the Showa era films, 1954 to 1975. In 1954, an enormous beast clawed its way out of the sea, destroying everything in its path and changing movies forever. The arresting original Godzilla soon gave rise to an entire monster movie genre, Kaiju Eiga. But the king of the monsters continued to reign supreme. In 14 fiercely entertaining sequels over the next 2 decades, Godzilla defended its throne against a host of other formidable creatures, transforming from a terrifying symbol of nuclear annihilation into a benevolent, if still belligerent, Earth protector. Collected here for the first time are all 15 Godzilla films of Japan's Showa era. In a landmark set showcasing the technical wizardry, fantastical storytelling, and indomitable international appeal that established the most iconic giant monster the cinema has ever seen. Well, that was pretty well written. So, I guess I could read you the movies, but we'll just wait until I open it up to get into what the movies are. Okay, so now I've got Blue Oyster Cult Fire of an Origin, the song Fire of an Origin playing. Definitely the bright band to listen to while this is happening here. I've seen them play 5 times, and they always played Godzilla. Okay, 8 Blu-ray Special Edition Collector Set features high-definition digital transfers of all 15 Godzilla films made between 1954 and 1975, with uncompressed monaural soundtracks. That's my work shirt. High-definition digital transfers of Godzilla King of the Monsters, the 1956 U.S. release version of Godzilla, and the 1962 Japanese release version of King Kong vs. Godzilla. So it's got the alternates of those 2 movies. In the case of Godzilla, the primary print on all of these, as I understand it, is the Japanese print. with the exception of King Kong versus Godzilla. That's the U.S. Cut. So whereas it gets English dub versions of the other one, the other ones in the set, the King Kong versus Godzilla is the main one is in English, the English language version, and you get on the extras, you get the Japanese release version. I've never seen the Japanese release version. I'm eager to see it because I rewatched the standard kind of dubbed version a few months ago for the first time in 40 years, maybe. Yeah, 35, 40 years. And it was kind of dreadful. I mean, the dubbing was rough. I don't like Asian movies being dubbed. It just is incongruous with the way they look, the way they speak. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Anime can get away with it somewhat, though often they're cheesy. A lot of people respect Carl Masick for his work bringing stuff like Macross and Vampire Hunter D over here and dubbing them and exposing them to an American audience. And that's definitely valuable. I think he might have dubbed Akira too. But I can't stand the dub actors that he chose. Okay, so audio commentaries from 2011 on Godzilla and Godzilla King of the Monsters, featuring film historian David Kellett. Now, I have the Criterion Godzilla. I had it on DVD, and I upgraded it to Blu-ray. I sold the DVD in my eBay store, which you should check out sometime. I'll leave you the link here at some point, because I need the money. And so I upgraded to Blu-ray. The Blu-ray is really nice. It's got a great cover art by Bill Sienkiewicz, who's like my favorite comic book artist. So I guess if all the contents of that are in here, then I will sell that Blu-ray. There's no need to be, triple dipple dip and keep all the dips. Okay, another special feature: international English language dub tracks for Invasion of Astro Monster, Son of Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters, Godzilla vs. Megalon, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, and Terror of Mechagodzilla. So, like I said, the English language dubs are the alternate versions that are special features. Okay, Directors Guild of Japan interview with director Ishiro Honda, conducted by director Yoshimitsu Yubano in 1990. I really want to see. There's a channel I follow in here, and I haven't recommended it yet to y'all, and I should. Daisuke Beppu, and he's in Tokyo. He is a film fanatic, and he's got every single Criterion edition ever made, every format. And I like to see what he says about this set, being Japanese and being a Criterion fanatic and being as good as he is and discussing this stuff. He's been an influence on me trying to be more, slow down a little bit with my presentation and enunciate words and not trip over myself because my mind is racing faster. My mouth is trying to keep up and can't do it. Burning for You by Blue Oyster Cult is now the theme song for this part of our show. All right, more special features. Programs detailing the creation of Godzilla's special effects and unused effect sequences from Toho releases, including Destroy All Monsters. I just sold my DVD of Destroy All Monsters a few days ago. I'm about to ship it out. New interview with filmmaker Alex Cox about his admiration for the Showa era Godzilla films, and he did Repo Man. And Sid Nancy, enough said, and is probably the world's biggest fan of The Great Silence. Okay, new and archival interviews with cast and crew members, including actors Ben Furuya. I know how to pronounce some Japanese names correctly. Shugetoshi Komada, Haru Nakshima, and Akira, or Akira as we say it in English, we on our drawl, Akira Takarada, and composer Akira Ipakuba. Now his music is great. He did most of the Godzilla movies. And effects technicians Yoshio Iri and Izo Kamai. So next, an interview with critic Tadayo Saito from 2011. That should be interesting. I'd like to hear what a modern critic, Japanese critic contextualizes. That's why I said Daisuke Beppu would be a good guy to consult on this one. Illustrated audio essay from 2011 about the real life tragedy that inspired Godzilla. Is that like Hiroshima? Nagasaki? I'm curious to see what they pick as the real life tragedy. Trailers, New English subtitle translations, plus a lavishly illustrated deluxe hardcover book, which probably this might be the covers of the book. We'll find out in a minute. A lavishly illustrated deluxe hardcover book featuring an essay by cinema historian Steve Rifle, notes on the films by cinema historian Ed Godzilla, and new illustrations by Arthur Adams. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a longtime comic book artist. He started with Marvel in the 80s. Sophie Campbell, Becky Cloonan, Jorge Coelho. I don't know who any of them are, but I'm eager to see their art. Jeff Darrow, who's an incredible, super detailed artist who, I guess, is best known for his art on Frank Miller's Hardboiled graphic novel. Simon Gain, Robert Gooden, Benjamin Mana Robot, Takashi Okazuki, Angela Rizza, Yuko Shimizu. I don't know who any of them are. Yuko Shimizu sounds familiar, but there was a director called Shimizu, so I may get mixed up. Bill Sienkiewicz, yes. And then a few more I'm not familiar with. Katsuya Terada, Ronald Wimberly, and Chris Wisnia. Whew, that's a lot of art. I'm pretty excited. Because, as you guys know, I'm an artist too, so, and I'm a little bit into comics. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this thing with a knife. I'm going to try not to damage the holy item. Let's see if I can do this. Maybe I can just get a corner loose and kind of work from there. Burning, I'm burning for you. All right, so Voice for Cold is really an unrated group still today. They were kind of rated accurately in the 70s, but since then they've been really undervalued. I'll do own music about them one day, I promise. Or maybe that's a threat, depending on if you like that show or not. I just got finished with another Black Sabbath. I'm very sick of me talking about them. So let me adjust this thing a little bit here. Perspective. Woo! And here we go. So the naked book here. Look at Godzilla, man. I'm not sure who did the art on the cover, but I'll find out. So I'm going to open this, and I don't know how it's going to open. I'm going to be careful not to spill any DVDs, Blu-rays or any DVDs in here. This is Blu Review, not DVD review. So, wasn't that a website? So, okay. So check this out. So this is a giant book. My God, man. This is the same artist who did the cover. I'm not sure who it is. No signature. I'll figure it out. But when I do, I'll tell you, but not if it distracts from me just getting into this thing. So, all right. It's got a table of contents of the films. First, it has an essay called Reign of Destruction by Steve Rifle. I don't know who he is, but I'm sure he's a great film writer. And a blurb from his article here says, while Godzilla has evolved with the times, the Showa series as a whole is undeniably the foundation of this ever-growing pop culture phenomenon. That's pretty undisputed, really. Hell yeah! So here we're going to get into the films. Godzilla, or Gojira, 1954. And this is by art by Bill Sienkiewicz that I have never seen before. Not the same artist on the single Blu-ray edition. Damn. All right. Is anyone else excited about this? Godzilla raids again. More beautiful art that I've never seen before. Now I'm on Voice for Cult, veteran of the Psychic Wars, which was used in the heavy metal soundtrack. Great song. Michael Moorcock wrote the lyrics. King Kong versus Godzilla. That's Arthur Adams who did the picture, and that's precious. King Kong swinging Godzilla by his tail. I can't remember such a comical shot being in the movie, but there were comical shots in the movie, so it probably is in the movie. All right, let's continue. Mothra Ghost versus Godzilla. I love this movie. Oh, it's incredible. I recently sold Mothra versus, under the name Mothra, but it was Mothra versus Godzilla. Or it might have been called also Mothra something. Okay, Ghidorah. Three-headed monster. That is killer. This kind of faux Japanese art, or it might be real. It might be one of the Japanese artists doing it in this vintage style. Wow. Okay, so Invasion of Astro Monster. I also sold this one recently on DVD, and now I've got a nice. Doesn't Godzilla look cute? He's kind of skipping along while the monsters are on either side of him. Wow. Okay, these are all great pictures of Godzilla. Ebirah, Horror of the Deep. Man, I didn't realize this was in here. I've never heard this. I've never seen this movie. I barely heard of it. I have an older friend, Tim McLean. Tim McLean, ladies and gentlemen. I know he saw a lot of these in the theater, so I'm going to tap his brain for some of these. I probably have some other older friends who saw that. I didn't see any Godzilla movies in the theater. I was too young for most of them, but I do remember vaguely Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, which we're getting to the actual title of that movie, but it played here in Charlotte. And I do remember Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. They play drive-in here. I just look at the ads. That's where I first heard of Godzilla. Son of Godzilla, Little Minya. Now, I watched this on TV late at night when I was a kid, and I loved it. It's a great kids' movie. It's really more of a kids' movie. But I thought Minya was pretty cute. I haven't decided nowadays if I think he's really a cool character or kind of cheesy, but it's okay. I mean, he's better than Godzuki. Okay? Destroy all monsters. So this is like the ultimate crossover of the monsters. This is a shout out to Sean Lee Levin, who's written some books on crossovers called Crossovers, going an expanded Secret History of the World. So he's the pro on this. Now, of course, you know, Godzilla has crossed over with other characters, so he's kind of in the crossover universe. But this has to be, as Sean put it, an AU, an alternate universe, because these monsters do not all coexist in a world like what used to be called the Walt Newton universe, copyrighted by Wynne Scott Eckert. All monsters attack. I have seen this before. The art on this one isn't that great, sorry, in my opinion. It's Jorge Coelho. See, I could have been looking down here and told you the artist. Now here is Jeff Darrow, and this is my favorite Godzilla movie, Godzilla versus Hedorah. I think this is the one that was known as Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. Maybe I'm wrong. Came out in 71? Oh. Well, must have come out in America a few years later. I don't know. I'll find out, though. Jeff Darrow, this is like hyper-detailed thing of him battling Hedorah in downtown Tokyo. It's amazing Tokyo even, there was a Tokyo after these movies. Godzilla versus Gigan. This definitely looks like a Japanese artist, but it's not. It's Becky Cloonan. But it's kind of an homage, kind of the anime style of a lot of 80s anime, 80s and 90s anime. That's wild. This is by Ronald Wimberly. Godzilla versus Megalon. I can't remember if I've seen this or not. I probably have not. Maybe. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Takashi Okazuki. Sorry I didn't mention the artists on all the earlier ones, except for Art and Bill and Kevin. Pretty cool. Terror of Mechagodzilla. So this fucking guy's back, man. This looks kind of like Fin Fang Foom, one of the Jack Kirby monsters from the 50s. Which makes me think Fin Fang Foom might have been, influenced by Godzilla. Probably had to be. Kirby probably saw Godzilla King of the Monsters. 1956? Oh, yeah. And then shortly after that came up with like Fin Fang Foom and similar. That's where the character Groot, who's now like a household name with Guardians of the Galaxy, he started in those monster books too. Those stories are great. The Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko monster era is really one of Marvel's definitely strangest eras. I'm on Soul Survivor by Voice or Cult. So, wow. Okay, so we're still not quite done. This is information about the transfer, special thanks, acknowledgments, production credits, and film licensors. And I think it was like a pain in the ass for Criterion. I was going to say for Godzilla. For Criterion to license all these from all these different countries, because this is the first time that all the Showa eras have been assembled in one place on one label on any home video iteration. This is history, my friends. All right, so here we go. Look what's inside the book, man. All right, so disc 1. Yes, disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4, disc 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's all the discs. I don't want to, spin them around too much because I'm always paranoid about scratching them. But it looks like the outside, like the right side of the disc, has the names of the movies that are on that particular disc. Like number 6 here says Godzilla versus Gigan and Godzilla versus Megalon. This one over here, 5 says All Monsters Attack and Godzilla versus Hedorah. No, I don't think there's anything else in this book or not. Because this is all that's the book itself. So then the Blu-rays are at the end of the book. And it's all kind of glued in. Oh my God, I'm going to have to take good care of this. I'll prop it up against the bottom shelf of my bookcase in front of my Japanese DVD so it can be part of the blue library, which you can't really see from here. Look out, cat. And, so I've got like this, that's where the Planet of the Apes set goes, which I am going to talk about soon. It's like an out of print, wild Planet of the Apes box set, big box set. But down here, I have like Japanese DVDs. All my Blu-rays kind of stop there. So I'm going to put Godzilla right in the middle there and lean him up under Planet of the Apes. Very appropriate. Wow. I can't believe that I've gotten through this whole thing. This made me happy. It's probably one of the best things that's happened to me in a while that isn't related to a female particular one. So my patron here who gifted me with this is a young Tim Tolbert, who I've shouted out to a number of times. A dear friend. I speak to him almost daily, and he is in Pennsylvania. He's in near George Romero country up there. And he's been a good friend to me over the last few years, and I met him in a film group I used to help moderate. But he's a huge Kaiju Iga fan and giant monsters. He's very knowledgeable, and he's a much younger guy than me. But for his age, he's really hip. I don't mean that in a silly flip way. He's really hip. He's really he thinks deeply about these movies. He kind of talks about some of the stuff that I mentioned in passing on some videos about my ideas about doing film reviews that were kind of sociological or philosophical, sociopolitical, which was an idea that me and the ex-fiance had. It was her idea, actually, to do a show like that, and she would probably throw the spiritual, esoteric aspect in there too. But anyway, she's gone, so enough of that. But me and Tim have those kind of discussions. If Tim were down here, we could shoot this show together. Maybe we could shoot on Zoom together. I don't know how that would work. So this song now is called Heavy Metal, Black and Silver. Boyster Cult is one of the heaviest Boyster Cult songs, and Eric Bloom sounds a lot like Ronnie James Dio on it. It's incredible. So Antimatter is the Black Horizon. So Tim, having contributed this to me because he said he had heard me mention it on one of these shows. So I consider him the first official patron of this channel for Blue Review, for the Henry Covert channel, for the Blue Review show, but definitely for the Henry Covert channel, he's my first patron. So anyone who contributes like money or items for me to review, anything that ties in with the show that will help me out or help me survive, money help me survive. But to be honest, this Criterion box set also it nourishes my very spirit. Anyone like that will be on my patrons list, and they'll get a shout out. So here we are. Good news, my subscription, my subscribers, the number of subscribers has gone up by about 3. I gained about 3 or 4 in the last week and a half. Today, an old friend of mine, Dwayne Cochran, he not only subscribed, he also commented and gave me some info on the last WandaVision video, which I posted last night, because I was kind of waxing about Catherine Hahn as Agatha Harkness in WandaVision. I was kind of saying, I'm hearing online, I'm bombarded with these, how she's like the greatest and the coolest and kind of the best thing about the show. My friend Tim Tolbert, once again, he kind of helped me put that in perspective today. We were kind of brainstorming the appeal of WandaVision with certain segments of the audience, and those segments are really see Catherine Hahn as iconic already. Catherine Hahn as iconic anyway, and now her as Agatha Harkness, I guess, instant iconism. I don't know, is that a word? But Dwayne, reminded me that she'd been on Parks and Recreation, which I've watched the whole series. It's been a while, and Dwayne has as well. And he sent me a clip, actually, linked to a clip, and I recognize her now. So yeah, she was primarily a comedian. So I did have that right, and she's growing on me. She's growing on me. She's fun. I just have to kind of square the comedic aspects with the dramatic aspects of the show. And since there's already a sitcom structure to the first several, I guess about 2/3 of the WandaVision episodes, then that's appropriate that there's a comedian, an actual comedian somewhere on there. Though Paul Bettany's pretty funny in that droll British deadpan thing of his. So a new Blue Oyster Cult song just came on The Pact. And anyway, this will be the last one that I'll listen to and the last little bit of my video. Thank you, Tim Tolbert, for this masterpiece of Blu-ray collecting. This will have its own show. Besides this one, the unboxing, after I watch everything and come to some kind of, boil it down to some kind of a digestible discourse, then I'll do that on here too. So it's time to go, and thanks everybody. Thanks everybody who watched the WandaVision video. Thanks to Tim and Dwayne for commenting. I finally have some commenters. I did have a commenter named on a few videos ago. Believe it or not, her name is Wanda. She's one of my regulars. And then Bree has commented on a few. So I really appreciate all of y'all. And that's what we say in the South. It means more than one person. It doesn't mean one person. So you all. So anyway, take care, guys.